Good morning, everyone. Lone Wolf Rick here. It is Monday morning, January 31st. We're 1/12 through this year already. Can you believe that? Holy cripes. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm standing in front of Mandalay Bay. Let's take a look at that big dragon phoenix looking thing up there. It's about 45 degrees here in Las Vegas, around 8:30 a.m. Projected high of 63. But we have some cold weather coming to Las Vegas. Big drastic change in the forecast. Wednesday and Thursday, the low's going to be down around freezing, maybe a little lower. And the high's only going to get up to about 50. So these past few days of 60-degree temperatures during the day, we're going to get a break from those. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday is what they're projecting. So we'll see how that plays out. A little breeze, a little wind, a little cold. Keeps us honest, right? So anyway, I'm in front of Mandalay Bay, and the reason why I'm starting here today, 8:30 a.m., is if you last night's video, I did one where they were doing some road renovation work, and I was standing right about here when they had all that major equipment and stuff going on. That's kind of leaning up against the bushes here. And when you last saw it, it's like the road was all mulched up, and it was about a foot off the road. And as you can see, they have completed the job. They've completed the task, at least what they worked on last night. They've got it all filled back up again. Take a look here. It's a Las Vegas paving company, by the way, who does all this work here in Las Vegas, and they've been around forever here in Vegas. They're one of the mainstays here, and the hardworking guys did a fantastic job. As you can see, it's like it's that machine, that big machine I was showing you last night was eating up the road. They got it all taken care of before they left this morning. How cool is that, huh? All right, so what we're going to talk about today, I just wanted to follow up and just let you know. I didn't want to be like a one of the major news networks. It's like they'll give you a story that never follow up on it. So what we're going to talk about today is going to blog a little bit. We're going to talk about the concerts coming up here in October. Man, didn't get much sleep last night, I guess, or something, huh? This is the concerts coming up here in February. Yes, it's the end of January, and we're going to take a look here at the concerts coming up here. And these are all concerts that are, not the house shows or the Cirque du Soleil shows. These are the shows that are actual concerts, recording artists. They're going to be here in Las Vegas for this coming month of February. And we'll just sit here and listen to the waterfalls as I go through a bunch of these and let you know what's going on here. So we've got February concerts. Starting on February 2nd, Carlos Santana at the House of Blues. Also on the 2nd, Lionel Richie will be at the Encore. And Styx and Nancy Wilson of Heart will be at the Venetian. Those are all on February 2nd. On February 4th, Kool and the Gang will be at the Westgate. Carlos Santana is at the House of Blues. Three Dog Night has a one-show appearance at the Orleans on February 4th. Lionel Richie will be at the Encore, and Styx and Nancy Wilson will be at the Venetian. Now, a lot of these are residency shows. It's like where they're here multiple dates, so you're going to hear a lot of repeats on certain dates. February 5th, Santana at the House of Blues, Kool and the Gang at the Westgate, Lionel Richie at the Encore, and Styx and Nancy Wilson at the Venetian. That's on February 5th. February 6th, we got Santana at the House of Blues. Kane Brown, rising country star Kane Brown's going to be at T-Mobile Arena. And it's interesting. We did a couple of videos or some videos last year from Laughlin. And they had a poster up before the pandemic hit. Kane Brown was going to be performing at, I think it was the Laughlin Riverside, which would have been a pretty small venue. So that shows how his rise to fame has really gone up. Now, he did not do that show. That show was canceled due to the pandemic. I'm pretty sure he didn't come back and reschedule. But the pandemic caused that show to be canceled. And but he would have been there. And now he's at the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. That'll be on the 6th of February. February 9th, Sammy Hagar at the Strat. February 10th, Barry Manilow at the Westgate. And Barry Manilow also be there on the 11th. February 11th, Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood. Luke Bryan will be at Resorts World. Also on the 11th, Blood, Sweat, and Tears will be at the Orleans. At the House of Blues, the Black Crowes will be there, giving Santana a break. The Grassroots, the 60s group, the Grassroots will be at the Golden Nugget on the 11th. And back, always by popular demand, George Strait will be at the T-Mobile Arena on February the 11th. Sammy Hagar will be at the Strat on the 11th. On the 12th, Barry Manilow at the Westgate. Shania Twain will be at Planet Hollywood. And Luke Bryan will be at Resorts World. AFI will be at the Virgin. At the House of Blues on the 12th. The Black Crowes will be there. Also on the 12th, the second show, George Strait at T-Mobile Arena. Ava Gabriel will be at the MGM Grand on the 12th. Also at the Orleans, Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. will be at the Orleans Arena. Sammy Hagar will be at the Strat again on the 12th. On Valentine's Day, we got one show, Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood. On the 16th of February, we've got Chicago. They'll be at the Venetian. The 17th, Barry Manilow at the Westgate, and he's also there on the 18th. Also on the 18th, Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood. The 18th, Luke Bryan at Resorts World. On the 18th, at the MGM Grand, Andrea Bocelli will be at the MGM Grand. On the 18th, Chicago will be at the Venetian. And then it's starting a small residency at Caesars on the 18th. Van Morrison will be there. Also on the 19th, Barry Manilow at the Westgate. Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood and Luke Bryan at the Resorts World. Also Chicago at the Venetian and Van Morrison at Caesars Palace. Then on the 20th, we got our next big show at T-Mobile Arena. Justin Bieber will be there. And Luke Bryan is at Resort World on the 20th. Van Morrison at Caesars on the 20th. John Fogerty will be at the Encore on the 23rd. Shania Twain, Planet Hollywood on the 23rd. Luke Bryan at the Resorts World 23rd. And Chicago at the Venetian on the 23rd. On the 24th, Allman Family Revival will be at the Virgin Hotel on Paradise Road. On the 25th, the first mega show in Las Vegas for the year, Metallica will be at Allegiant Stadium. The Stylistics are at Sam's Town on the 25th. John Fogerty will be at the Encore on the 25th. Luke Bryan at Resorts World. Chicago at the Venetian. Also on the 25th at the Virgin Hotel, Toto will be at the Virgin Hotel. I was going to say fresh off their Grammy Award-winning album from 1984, huh? Is that crazy how much time has passed? Almost 30 years ago, that Toto album. It's like won the Best Album Award. I'll tell you a story here. It's like kind of give a little break here. In 1984, and I was living in Oklahoma at the time. It's like me and my girlfriend at the time, it's like we're at the Toto was going to be in Tulsa, and we went to see him. And the opening act for Toto was a young man who was just kind of getting his feet wet, had one album out, and was just starting to rise up the charts, rise in fame. He had that hit song, Do You Believe in Love? Huey Lewis and the News, it's like was the opening act for Toto. And Huey Lewis did his spot, probably about, I don't know, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it was, and brought the house down. I had never seen an opening act, it's like outperform the headliner the way that Huey Lewis and the News outperformed Toto on that night in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was crazy. It's like the fans would not let him leave. It's like he did a set. It's like, you know, the lights come up, and usually it's like, you know, opening acts don't get to do like encores. The groupies came out to, the roadies came out to start tearing the stage down, and the crowd was booing, the crowd was going nuts, they were stomping. It was about a sold out show, probably about 10,000 I would imagine. I think it was at the Tulsa Assembly Center. Anyway, it's like, the place was just unbelievable. Huey Lewis and the News came back out, did a song, it's like that was going to be off their new upcoming album. It's like, because they weren't prepared to do a, you know, any encores or whatever. And they did the one song and said goodnight. The lights come back up again, and the crowd was stomping. Literally, it's like he comes back out on stage, and he tells everybody, it's like, you know, that like, you know, it's like they had time constraints. It's like, you know, they had to get the stage torn down. It's like, you know, for Toto, and he built Toto up. It was like, you know, it's going to be a great show. It's like, you know, and the thing. He said, but I promise everybody. He goes, he was talking about Tulsa, and he said, I have never had this response any place that I've ever performed. And he goes, I'm telling you right now, it's like we're adopting Tulsa as our second home. It's like, you know, out of San Francisco. He goes, we will be back. He goes, I promise you. It's like in a thing. He goes, give us some time to get a booking. It's like, we will be back. And the crowd was going nuts. Unbelievable, unbelievable, the response. I'd never seen that kind of response before. It's like for an act. And sure enough, he did come back. There was an outdoor concert, I don't know, like maybe 4 months later or whatever, that drew over 30,000 people. And Huey Lewis was a headliner with some other great acts like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and there was like just a bunch of people there, like a big festival type thing. But Huey Lewis was the headliner, and Huey Lewis mentioned the how that show came about, or how he got the headliner gig, was because of that show with Toto and a response that they got. And it's like, and they got to be the headliner, it's like, for that show. Anyway, I'll never forget that. I mean, it was like a fantastic show. I've been a Huey Lewis and the News fan for ever since that time. So just a little FYI plug there, you know, just a little history lesson of my life. So anyway, let's continue on here. We talked about on the 25th, John Fogerty's at the Encore, Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood, Luke Bryan at Resorts World, and Chicago at the Venetian, and then Toto at the Virgin on the 25th. Also at the Golden Nugget downtown, Blue Oyster Cult will be down there on the 25th. We also got Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick will be at the Strat. On the 26th, John Fogerty at the Encore, Shania Twain at Planet Hollywood, Luke Bryan at Resorts World, Chicago at the Venetian, Cheap Trick at the Strat, and then our second major concert of the year. It's like we have Metallica on the 25th, the 26th at Allegiant Stadium brings Billy Joel in his show. It's like into Allegiant Stadium. All right, that's the concerts that are coming up here. I hope you enjoyed my little take on Huey Lewis and the News. Also, one of those memories you just never forget. You know, it was such a great show, and Oh, and I did want to mention one thing. It's like Toto. It's like, you know, the thing, it's like it was doing their set. And nothing wrong with Toto. Toto was very good. You know, all those, what were they, like soundstage musicians or whatever that all got together and formed a group and had a lot of hits. It's like they, before, about halfway through Toto's set, half the crowd left in Tulsa. I kid you not. It's like that's from being where they were with Huey Lewis in the News. It's like, you know, to Toto. It's like the crowd was half gone before their set was over. You know, a real shame. It's like, you know, I think it's Toto put on a great show too, but man, the fans were just into Huey Lewis. All right, everybody, I'm gonna kind of roam around the strip here and see if I can find anything. I appreciate you joining me today and listening to what concerts we got coming up here in February, and my Huey Lewis story, and the road out front here. It's amazing the work they got done in one night. I mean, usually this is about probably a month job out here in that little section. I'm just kidding. All right, everybody, y'all take care, okay? If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that. And to all of our subscribers and everybody who watches our videos, thank you very, very much. We appreciate your support. If you like what you see on here and you'd like to help support our creative process here, we have two ways you can do that. You can go to paypal.com and leave us a tip or a gratuity. PayPal, our email address is lonewolfrick, LONEWULFRICK, @gmail.com. And you can leave us a tip or a gratuity. We greatly appreciate that. Or we're also on Patreon, patreon.com/lonewolfrick, LONEWULFRICK. All right, take care, okay? Stay healthy. And we're going to see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.